I had one quick question, if I could. You mentioned your opponent's advertising being misleading. Do you think that, I mean, how involved were you in your ad campaign? Much of what I've seen is attack ads, and do you think any of it was misleading or crossed the line?
Well, if you've seen our ads, we were only, first of all, I can tell you this, I called Kendrick Meek the day that I got in this race. I called him to tell him that I wanted to be and keep this positive. He didn't call me back because I think it's a very clear choice between a career politician who, as far as I'm concerned, who's failed us, who's involved in a lot of shady types of things like his payments from Rocket Hut, this med waste thing where he's on the board and didn't disclose it, the Stackhouse scandal, and me, a self-made man who's never had any problems with any authorities anywhere, and who's never involved in any kind of corruption, and who basically has created jobs his whole life, and has been to hold people accountable and got a result. So I was prepared to I was hoping to keep it positive, and we did. We started out the first 3 weeks. If you looked at my ads, they were all just introductory ads. I was talking about myself. I was talking about Kendrick Meek, and I said to my campaign, I'm not going to go negative until he goes negative. Even though in the campaign, even though the first day he started with vicious personal attacks the first day of the campaign against me. My friends were, he's calling me saying I caused the housing crisis. I mean, and so so I said, look, we're not running any negative ads until he does. So what do I get? He starts out with an ad immediately. His first ad, he doesn't even introduce himself, is all phony stuff. Warren Buffett said that Jeff Greene's scheme was, it's in his ad, whatever, this picture of Warren Buffett. We contacted Warren Buffett yesterday, sent an email saying I never said anything about Jeff Greene, and I don't know why the newspapers aren't covering that. I think it's because it's, to me, it's the whole base of his campaign, that Jeff Greene, Warren Buffett substantiates Jeff Greene caused the housing crisis. Warren Buffett never said it. PolitiFact said it's a lie. And as far as my own commercials, our negative commercial, which you call it a negative commercial, it's really just, it's a comparative commercial.
Well, the flyers are a tech also. The one that says criminal investigation, it looks like a manila.
We're just quoting newspaper quotes. None of this is coming from us. I mean, everything we put on television or in the mail is a quote from the Miami Herald, St. Petersburg Times, Orlando Sentinel. We're not making things up. What he's saying is phony quotes from Warren Buffett. I think, and lies about saying that I've caused the housing market and I've prayed for people to suffer. I mean, this is, to me, is just theatrical lies. And we've only done is quoted actual quotes from newspapers. I mean, look at them yourself. We're very careful. We're not doing anything. Look, I wish this could all be positive. I don't like this negative stuff. I was brought up. You don't have something nice to say about someone, don't say anything. And this thing to me was.
You put that aside for this campaign.
But no, he put it aside, and I had no choice. I mean, he did it. I would have much rather just talked about the issues. Like today, I'd rather be talking about issues. I mean, we're at one of the, right now in our country, I look at it like we're facing some of the deepest challenges we've ever faced. I'm giving up the thing that I could be doing to thrust myself into this because I care very deeply about our country. And people only want to talk about, trips to Cuba and who my friends were and, a building I sold. And we're not even talking at this editorial board about important issues. And, I think that's the problem we have, in my view, in Washington, is that we're electing people who are just career politicians, who have failed us. We're not really looking at who's best qualified for the job. And I think if people look honestly at my resume and my character, they'll see that I'm the best qualified for the job.
Why do you think so many people are still undecided? I mean, we're down to a couple to weeks.
Well, they don't. If the undecided is directly, if you look at these polls, is directly proportional to to those that don't know enough about the candidates. So of course I'd be undecided too if I didn't know anything about Jeff Greene or Kendrick Meek, and that's why Charlie Crist is leading in a three-way, because they know him, they don't know us. I think what has happened in my campaign, the more people have gotten to know me from my running around the state and campaigning every day and meeting people, and from getting our message out and telling people who we are, we're going up in the polls consistently. We've gone from 2 to 12 to 19. We just keep, and it's a direct proportion. In each poll you look, what percentage heard of Jeff Greene? 5, you have 2%. And so with more people that know us, the more people. So I think people in Florida, they've had it with. They realize that if you keep putting the same people in office, you'll get the same results. I mean, and I think that people are realizing if you try someone different, who comes from a different background, which is creating jobs and being in business and being successful. And look, I'm the first to admit, I have my problems. I mean, I'm not saying if you have that, I mean, if I have 30,000 tenants, I'm not going to have some tenants who think I'm a terrible landlord. I'm not, if I have hundreds, thousands of employees, I'm not going to say employees who don't like me. Of course, that's going to be the case. But I think generally, I'm very, very proud of the relationships I have with employees, tenants, everyone I've done business with.
I want to get a question about Afghanistan. You suggested